What's up guys and girls, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to talk about every prophecy in God of War from God of War 1 to God of War Ragnarok and use that to predict the ending of the game. There is a good chance analyzing every God of War prophecy may tell us what this inevitable ending Eric Williams was talking about is. Here are some of the answers to the previous trivia question. Every time I think of a hard one, a lot of you end up getting it right and proving me wrong, so congratulations to you all. This next question is, the Gravekeeper we saw in some of the God of War games was always a mysterious character. However, we never see him die, and his true identity was only hinted at. Who was the true identity of the Gravekeeper? Type your answers now, and if you get it right, you have a chance in being in tomorrow's video. Let's get right into the prophecies. The first prophecy is actually explained on Santa Monica's Facebook page. It explains the reason why Kronos was eating his own kids. It turns out that the Oracle gave Kronos a prediction that his own children will rise against him. Kronos grew so fearful of this that he began to eat his own children and imprison them in his belly. One by one he ate his kids, and when it came time for the final child to be eaten, Zeus, his wife, didn't want that to happen as she couldn't bear the loss of another child. So she created a plan. Her plan was to exchange her baby for a rock and give the rock to Kronos. The baby was delivered to Gaia, who nurtured and took care of Zeus. And then it goes on to say that out of vengeance, Zeus attacked Kronos to free his brothers and sisters. He sliced open Kronos' belly and the gods appeared. And they fought for hundreds of years until Kronos was defeated and imprisoned in Tartarus. The next prophecy can be seen in God of War 1 very briefly, and it's very easy to miss. This one can be found while on the upper floors of Pandora's temple. You see a mural on the ground which shows a mortal fighting Zeus, and if you click on it, that's exactly what it says. The figure, of course, will be Kratos fighting Zeus. Next we head over to Ghost of Sparta. In Ghost of Sparta, it showed the day that Deimos was taken. We learned a prophecy that a marked warrior will destroy the gods. Here is that cutscene.
After the Great War with the Titans, the Oracle had foretold the demise of the Olympian gods and the destruction of Olympus. She saw that it would be brought about not by the hands of the Titans, who thirsted for revenge, but by the hands of a mortal, a marked warrior. Whoever controlled the marked warrior controlled the fate of Olympus.
Ikari! Patrino lesit Sparto fera Ivan Kali.
Sit. Eithor en Ikoedatis. Ikamet.
Ikera! Ines and Membralis.
Kratos! Help! Kratos!
Forgive me.
They snatched Deimos because he was in fact marked. Trying to get him back, Kratos attacked and was hit in the eye by Ares, which gave him a scar on his eye. Last but not least, we have God of War Ragnarok. Odin, to save himself dying in Ragnarok by the giants, he disrupted the peace that Tyr had created because he was becoming very paranoid. And when he got Mjolnir, he gave it to Thor and ordered Thor to kill all the giants in Midgard to prevent his own death and to stop Ragnarok. Here is Mimir explaining this.
Do you know why there are no more giants left in Midgard? I mean, not counting the serpent from the future.
Well, they did not take me into their confidence about that, Odin's convictions to the contrary. But I know this. If I'd spent the better part of 60 winters seeing my best and brightest cut down by Thor and that damn hammer, I might very well go home to lick my wounds.
Why is Odin so desperate to find a way into Jotunheim anyway?
He's convinced the giants hold the key to changing his fate when Ragnarok comes. They are the Aesir's oldest enemies, after all, and it's their army that's supposed to do him in the end. But more than that, he covets their gifts of prophecy. He wants to know what they know and see what they see. So much suffering could have been avoided if his insatiable curiosity was not so much stronger than his wisdom.
Now, what do all of these prophecies have in common? It's the prevention of the prophecy that causes the prophecy to happen. It's as if the universe is playing 3D chess. They set up the prophecy by letting whoever it affects knows about the prophecy, so when they try to stop it, that's when it comes true. Think about it like this: if Kronos had not eaten his children, then Zeus would have never attacked, because the page specifically says that he attacked out of vengeance. With the marked warrior prophecy, Deimos is nowhere near as strong as Kratos, and he would not have destroyed all the gods, I'm sorry to say. However, when they took Deimos, Kratos stepped in and he got hit, leaving him with a scar, making him a marked warrior. Then he got a tattoo in honor of his brother Deimos, which again goes into the marked warrior prophecy, which eventually caused the death of all the gods. This is also reassured by the one we saw in God of War 1 with someone fighting Zeus, and of course, because Deimos was being taken, this will of course be Kratos who would fight Zeus. So in God of War 2018, we see a similar struggle that we've seen time and time again. Odin is trying to prevent this prophecy of him dying, of Ragnarok happening, and I believe because he's trying to prevent Ragnarok because of his paranoia, this causes Ragnarok to happen. Speaking of inevitable, the director Eric Williams said God of War Ragnarok will have a surprising but an inevitable ending. Here is that clip of him saying something like that.
We want to tell a very heartfelt and epic story as, a father and son go on a journey, and they kind of struggle with holding on to stuff and letting go of things. It's a very difficult kind of human condition that we all deal with. And we kind of want to arrive at that by taking like slices of life or family, drama, if you will, and kind of juxtapose that against big Norse backdrop. And, at the end, we just want to have an ending that feels very, surprising yet inevitable based on all those things. But it's kind of, I'm from the Midwest, so like slice of life, very common, mundane things are just as interesting as big world events. And so we try to collide those things together to, make an experience that's very worthy of the God of War name.
I think Odin trying to prevent his death in Ragnarok is going to cause Ragnarok to happen and him dying. Think about it like this. This is why Kratos is in Midgard. Remember, Faye and Kratos met in the forest because they were both at a place where they didn't want to fight anymore. Faye was fighting against the gods for a long period of time, and Cory Barlog confirmed that they just wanted something to do other than fighting. And of course, she's only fighting the gods because Odin was paranoid and he actually caused all this conflict to happen, trying to stop Ragnarok. So that leads to Faye being in the forest. Faye and Kratos would eventually meet, fall in love, and Atreus would be born. Again, you could say they only met because Odin disrupting the peace to stop Ragnarok from happening. This could be the #1 reason why Mimir told Kratos, prophecy did not count on you. And Odin trying to stop Ragnarok probably caused Kratos even being there in the first place. I made a previous video talking about something similar. I believe Kratos is Ragnarok. I think he and Atreus both are the reason why Ragnarok happens, why Odin will eventually be destroyed as well. Odin causing so much destruction in this world is pretty much screwing with Ragnarok, but Ragnarok must happen. It's a point in time that will always occur. So the world pretty much devised a plan for Kratos to appear in Midgard. Remember, Kratos said that he was dragged here by 3 wolves. One was black, one was gray, one was white, the colors of Skullhati and Fenrir. So it all makes perfect sense. I think that if we analyze the prophecies properly, I think it shows that Odin will in fact die at the end of the next game, which is something that is inevitable in Ragnarok, which goes in line with what Eric Williams was saying, that this game will have an inevitable ending. But let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I really enjoyed making this theory. I love thinking about it. My Kratos power breakdown will be released Hopefully tomorrow when you're watching this, I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys and girls for listening. Deuces.